Good morning. I welcome you all in Ignis Pathology class. Today we are going to discuss a very simple but an important topic in igneous pathology, that is the forms of igneous rocks. So we will be discussing forms of igneous rocks both for the extrusive and the intrusive rocks. You all know that igneous rocks are formed from cooling and crystallization of an originally hot molten natural material called magma or lava when erupted on volcanoes. The cooled igneous masses occur in nature in a variety of shapes or forms. Forms, you can, this shape that the igneous body takes. So either you can call shapes or forms, but it is well known by the name forms. As what form an igneous mass will acquire on cooling depends on number of factors, and the various factors are the structural disposition of host rock, or you can say we call them also the country rocks. So it will depend on the structural disposition of the country rocks which are already present or the host rocks. Second, it will depend on the viscosity of the magma or lava, and viscosity you all know is also depends on the silica content of the magma. More the silica, higher the viscosity; less the silica, more the fluidity. So the second factor for the forms of igneous rocks is the viscosity of the magma or lava, and third, the composition of the magma or lava. That is important as such, but you know that in composition also SiO2, and that comes under the second, that is viscosity. And the fourth is the environment in which injection of magma or eruption of lava takes place. Now we can divide the various forms of igneous intrusions in two broad classes, that is the forms for the extrusive rocks, means that are formed, that is you can see here this the extrusive igneous rocks, you all know they are formed by the flow of lava or disposition of ash over pre-existing surface. The contact surface between the two rock types is therefore irregular. The contact may be parallel to the bedding or foliation of the country rocks, in which it is called concordant. Typically, the contact is in an angle to the bedding or foliation of the country rock, and it is called discordant. Now, these lava flows are emitted either from individual cones or from fissures. They usually form tabular bodies of wide aerial extent in proportion to their thickness and elongated in the main direction of flow. You can see it here. This is the main direction of flow, so they get elongated. So this is of the fissure type eruption. See the fissure type eruption, and this is your the can say the eruption of viscous lava, that they get heaped up like this. The pyroclastic, or you can say the eruption. The form of lava depends chiefly on the fluidity of an magma, which in turn depends upon the composition and temperature of eruption. The basic lava flows such as basalts are highly mobile and flow to great distances, whereas the acid magmas such as rhyolite are sluggish in their flow and remain heaped up, often steep-sided bulbous mass above the orifice of eruption. This is orifice of eruption. This is heaped up. This is your, you can say, the pyroclast, or you can say the eruption of viscous lava. This is the eruption of viscous lava. This is, you can say, the fissure of the basaltic lava. So in the first case they get heaped up, right? And the second basaltic, they get elongated in direction of flow, because here the viscosity is less, so they get have more mobility and they flow, whereas in the viscous lava they get heaped up. So these are two forms of, you can say, your extrusive igneous rocks. Now coming to your intrusive igneous rocks, when we say the intrusive igneous rocks, means depending upon the you also call them as plutons. A pluton is, you know, is a rock body composed of intrusive igneous rock. The term may be used for bodies of all sizes ranging from few feet long to those that are expressed over hundreds of square kilometers. The plutons or these your intrusive bodies are classified on the basis of the structural relations to adjacent and older rocks, size and shape. The concordant bodies are those that run parallel to the bedding or structures of the country rocks, whereas discordant bodies cut across the bedding or other structures of the pre-existing rocks of the country. The intrusive bodies can be classified, thus may be classified into two, concordant and discordant. Now again, concordant in folded region and concordant in unfolded region. So in unfolded region, the concordant bodies which have been classified are your sill, laccolith, lopolith, whereas in folded region, phacolith and concordant batholith. Similarly, the discordant means they cut across the bedding or structures of the country rocks. They are dike, cone sheets, volcanic necks, ring dike, discordant, like this. So we will take up one by one. The first is your sill, right? Sills, you can say them simply, they are in the category of your concordant, right? Concordant bodies, or this you can see it here. Now here, what is this? These are parallel to the bedding planes. This is parallel to the bedding planes. So as such, when we say sills, the sills are igneous intrusions that have been injected parallel along or between you can say the bedding planes of a sedimentary sequence are known as sills. The thickness of sills are smaller than their width and length. The thickness may vary from few inches to many hundreds of feet. They commonly thin out, means just you have noticed here, they thin out in the end, tapering end, you can say they thin out or taper along the outer margins. Now depending upon the sills are also may be subdivided. Say simple sill when formed of a single intrusion of magma, then multiple sills which consist of two or more injections which are essentially of same kind of magma. Third, this is can say the second category, this is the third category, this is a simple sill, this is your multiple sill, this is your differentiated sill. In the differentiated sill, they are exceptionally large sheet-like injections of magma where there has been irregular, you can say the segregation of minerals formed at various stages of crystallization. And the composite sills result from two or more eruptions of different types of magma. So this you can the cross ones and the dark continuous, this and this cross one, they are of different composition. So they are in the category of the composite sills. This is in the multiple sills of same composition, and this is simple sill. So again the sills, depending upon the factors, they can be divided into four categories: simple sill, multiple sill, composite sill and differentiated sill. The next form is your laccolith. Now this laccolith you know is, just let me show you the diagram. Laccolith, right? Now this is your laccolith, this one. Now these are concordant, this is concordant as such. When you say this is concordant, because it is parallel to the bedding planes, are concordant bodies representing bun shaped, the shape is like bun shaped mass of igneous this is your bun shaped. Now this is your laccolith use are concordant intrusions due to which the invaded strata has been arched up or domed. This is arched up or domed, right? The igneous mass itself has a flat or concave base and dome top. Main thing is that this base is flat and this is your arc shaped, and this is in category of the concordant. Now the next is your we will first take up this your concordant forms. So in next concordant form is your lopolith. Lopolith, these are igneous masses which are associated with structural basins. This is your structural basin. You can say this is structural basin. This, right? Basins, that is sedimentary beds inclined toward the common center termed lopoliths. They may form huge bodies of consolidated magma, often many kilometers long and thousands of meters thick. It is believed that the origin of lopoliths, the formation of structural basin, and the injection of magma are contemporaneous, means they are simultaneous. They take together. That is, the formation of structural basin and the injection of magma, when it is a simultaneous activity or contemporaneous activity, then the lopoliths are formed. Now, just like your sills, lopoliths may be simple, multiple, complex, or differentiated. The terms have the same connotations what in the that is in the sills. Then your next is your next form. Coming to these sill lopolith, then we'll come to your discordant forms. We already discussed the discordant forms. They are across to the country rock, means they are not parallel to the bedding planes or structural features in the rocks. They are at an angle or they are perpendicular. They cut across these, and amongst them the first is your dike. Now dike as such, when we say this part, you can say this portion is cutting up. So this is up to this is a dike. Then this part has taken parallel to this bedding, so this is sill. This is dike. We can show in the separate diagram also, but just understand from here only. The dike, they will cut across. Here you can say these are parallel. If same occurrence is like this, they cut across the country rocks, then it will be dike. Now again, dikes when we say, or as far as definition is concerned, means dikes are what we say columnar bodies of igneous rocks which cut across the bedding or other structural features of the invaded rock. A dike is narrow, elongated, parallel sided wall of igneous rocks. Dikes show great variation in their thickness, length, texture, composition. The thickness may be only few inches to many hundreds of miles. Simultaneously, the length may be from few meters to many kilometers. Dikes generally occur in groups or sets. I will show you in the diagram that radiating dikes and all that. That you can see in the diagram. This is the, you can say, the radiating dike, and this is arcuate dike. This is the they radiate out from the point. So this is this is again, this is radiating out. They are radiating. This is arcuate dikes, means arcuate in shape. So depending upon that, their shapes and their you can set. I just told you that they occur in groups or sets. Dikes are classified as simple, multiple, composite, differentiated. That what we used in terms of your sills. The terms have the same significance for sills. Dikes are formed by intrusion of magma into pre-existing fractures, that is important, present in the host of the country rocks. What we did in the ring dike are characterized by typically arcuate, closed, ring-shaped outcrops. They may be arranged in concentric series, each separated from each other by screen of the country rock. Means in between there will be country rock here. And then this black one is igneous mass, and this is the country rock which is present in between that. They are arranged they show great variation in the diameter, ranging from few to 25 kilometers. Now this phacolith term, which is used, again, it is though these phacolith I will show you first. It is in category of the concordant. This is phacolith, right? These are concordant, small size intrusives that occupy positions in the troughs and the crusts. Means in the troughs, this is the trough and this is the crusts of the folds, and right. In outline, these bodies are double convex and appear in concentric or half moon shaped in cross section. As regards their origin, it is thought that when magma is injected into folded sequence of rocks, it passes through the crusts or troughs almost passively, that without exerting much pressure. So this is in the category of your concordant, and it is found in the crust, this igneous into mass body, and their troughs. They get stretched in between. So this is called your phacolites. Now phacolites as such, these are large. Once again, these are concordant small size intrusives that occupy positions in the troughs and crust of folds. In folding, the crust and troughs of folds become regions of weakness. Crust and troughs, these crust and troughs become the regions of weakness and tension, whereas the middle parts are compressed. So the igneous when present will tend to find weights towards the trough and the crust, and will exhibit double convex like forms. Then the next form is your you can say the batholith. You can take it, batholith, right? Now this batholith is of two types, both concordant batholith and discordant batholith, right? This is batholith, right. These are huge bodies of igneous intrusion that may show this one show both concordant and discordant relations with the invaded rock. Batholiths are generally characterized by extensive downward enlargement to their bases and not easily traceable. A irregular dome-shaped roof of another common character by any batholith of many batholiths. When the surface area of the batholith like intrusion is less than 100 square kilometers, it is commonly called stalk, and when such stalk has roughly circular outline, it is further distinguished as boss, P-O-S-S. So these boss and stalk, they are the variations of your batholith. When the intrusion is less than square kilometer, when small size, that is less than 100 square kilometers, it is called stalk, and then the stalk has this circular outline, it is called the boss. Right. Now the volcanic neck, you can notice here, this is simple, that in some vents of quiet volcanoes have become sealed with intrusions. Such intrusions are termed volcanic necks. So this is in volcanic neck. This igneous body which is there is sort of in the neck. It has a neck shape. Means vents of quiet volcanoes have become sealed with the intrusions. Such intrusions are termed volcanic necks or volcanic plugs also. They are also termed as plugs, P-L-U-G-S. In outline, these masses may be circular, semicircular or irregular and show considerable variation in their diameter. Around these necks, the country rocks generally show an inwardly dipping right, dipping context. So these are the various, you can say, the forms, and that I said you first we discussed the forms for your extrusive rocks, that are the lava flows. Basically lava flows, if it is viscous lava flow, they get heap up. If it is basaltic, they get elongated in the direction of flow, that is the basaltic lava flow. Then the intrusive rocks we just discussed, there are two types, concordant and discordant, right? Concordant are those which are found parallel to the bedding of the country rocks, or the structures which are present in the rocks parallel to them. They are called the concordant, and the various name I told you are the sill we have discussed, sill, laccolith, lopolith. They are in the category of your concordant forms. In the unfolded region, same concordant forms in folded region is the phacolith, common one that we have discussed. They are found in the crust and troughs of the folds. And the second broad category is the discordant, your intrusives or plutons. Again, we can divide them in unfolded region and folded region. In the unfolded region, the various forms are your dikes, cone sheet, volcanic necks, and ring dikes, which I have already discussed. Means main thing is that these bodies, they cut across the country or the host rock bedding planes or other structural features, right? And discordant in highly folded regions are your batholiths. So these batholiths we have already discussed. So these are the forms of bodies, or you can say the forms of different forms of your igneous rock bodies, both in the extrusive and the intrusive. The main important of these is that the intrusive forms. Extrusive, they are simply the, you can say, the cone shaped, and they are found on surface. But these intrusives, they are typical in their outline. So pay more attention to your these plutonics, or you can say the plutons, that concordant and discordant, right? We have, thank you very much. We see you next topic in the next class. Thank you very much.